All right, so we're on a beautiful ride, chugging along. All of a sudden, oh no, you have a flat tire. What are you going to do? Well, rule number one, don't freak out. You're a Kai girl. You got this, okay? Then you're going to get yourself to the side of the bike trail or the side of the road to a safe space in the shade. You're going to pull out your cell phone and you're going to text a friend, your coach, your mom, your honey, whoever it is. Just text someone and let them know that you have a flat tire, that you're on the trail. Let them know where you are, and just send a text. Don't call them. That'll you'll use up more time. Just send them a text. That's Aria, so they know where you are. Then you're going to take the tire off of your bike. So I'm going to quickly show you how to take the tire off of your bike. Okay? So here's my bike. I'm going to release the quick release. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to release this quick release. Okay? I'm going to spin this spindle. Okay. So I'm down here by my bike. This is how it's going to work. I'm going to release my quick release. So there's a lever on this left side over here. And I'm going to release that. Okay? Then I'm going to spin the spindle on the other side. Give it a few spins. And that will release my skewer, which is the bar that runs through the wheel. And I'm going to release my brakes. Okay? So up here, it's just a little lever. You'll see. Little lever. And I'm going to release that. So I release that, it releases the brakes, and now I can pull my tire out, okay? I'm going to pull my wheel off of my bike, and I'm going to put my fork back down on the road. Alrighty? Put it on the ground. Alright, then to get this tube out, you have to get the tire off of the rim. So how are we going to do that? I'm going to show you. Okay, so I'm going to grab my tire levers. These are my tire levers. Okay, I'm going to grab those. And I'm going to take the edge of this tire lever and I'm going to get it into the side of the tire under the bead. That's the sound of a hair coming out of your tube. So I'm going to get it under the bead. All right. So I'm going to get that under this bead. I'm going to pinch my tire, get it under the bead. Okay, so see how it's between the rim and the tire. And I'm going to tuck it. Okay, so I've tucked it into the spoke, onto the spoke, so it's holding it open. Then I'm going to take my other lever and I'm going to stick it in that bead as well. So see how they're both under the bead? And I'm going to use that lever to get the rest of the bead off of the bike. So I'm just going to roll this all the way around. See, and the bead is coming off of the rim. Nice and slow. Don't want to damage my tire while I'm doing this. So it's halfway off. So see, we've got tire halfway off. It's not under the metal part of that rim anymore. Okay? So then I'm going to pull my tube out. All right? Pull my tube out. Before I do that, I'm just going to visually check and see if there's anywhere on this tire that there might be a thorn or piece of glass sticking out. Looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to pull my tube out. All right, pull the tube out. You're going to press down on that valve to get it out. All right, then you're going to keep your tube lined up with your tire. Like so. So the hole in my rim is here. I'm going to keep it lined up here and I'm going to visually inspect my tube and see where my hole is. All right. So if I found my hole, or if I found a small hole, but I don't see a thorn, I don't see a piece of glass, I want to find out why my tube is now flat. So I'm going to line it up with where the spoke, or with where the valve hole is on my rim, and I'm going to see, okay, if this is where my hole is, something must have happened here. So I'm going to go back to my tire, and I'm going to rub my finger on the I'm going to visually check and then rub my finger on the inside of the tire and see if I can find a little piece of a thorn or piece of glass or shard of metal or whatever it is poking through my tire. More than likely, there will be something sticking through, and I can pull it out, and that will allow me to safely put in a new tube. If I didn't pull that thorn out that's sticking halfway through the tire, when I put a new tube in there, it's going to pierce the next tube, and then I'm really in trouble. Okay, so you're going to take a look, find the culprit. While you have the tire off, halfway off of the rim, you're going to rub your finger along the inside, see if there's anything else sticking out, sticking in your tire. Okay, and then you're going to put your tube back in, your new tube back onto that rim. So to do that, I like to add some air. Okay, so let's get down here. So I'm going to add a little bit of air to my tube. Okay, so I'm going to unscrew this so that the pin can be depressed. I'm going to push this on here, lock it in place, and I'm going to give my tube a few pumps. So now it has some shape to it, okay? Not super full, but just a few pumps so that it has some shape to it so that it doesn't twist when I put it back on that rim, okay? So I'm going to pull this off. Maybe. Pull it off. Okay. I'm going to screw that little valve down so that the air doesn't come out, okay? And I'm going to put my tube, my new tube, back into my rim, okay? You'll notice that with most bikes, especially if they were built in a bike shop, the logo on the tire will line up with the hole in your rim, okay? So I'm going to put this valve back in.